Just
There was
one
a lot of
comment.
weird things. Yeah.
One comment here, James. Amazing stories. Amazing stories. One comment. Are you telling me
Hmm.
that Iraqis, that jihadists, because that's what they are,
Hmm.
right? Radical jihadists. Are you telling me they surrendered to a UFO? And if so, what's the magic potion there? Can we get more UFOs to have them surrender? How
Well,
about that? Do we have an answer? Do we have an
okay. So
answer for what's going? I mean,
they
seriously,
sur- they
James, that's serious
well
stuff.
they surrendered to us. They come running out. They came running out of a hide position. They actually had set up a really good ambush, and they had several triple stacked IEDs. I mean, it would have been a rough day for us had they carried that out. Now, so what I'm going to tell you is not classified information, but it is what they told us. So if anybody's nutty, it's the dang Iraqi insurgents. Okay, it's not me. But when they were captured, they were they looked pale as a ghost. I mean, they were terrified. Something obviously had terrified them. So we figured, we had special forces guys, and the British SAS was operating in the area, and they're pretty wicked dudes. I mean, you think that the boogeyman's got a hold of you. So we thought maybe they had been hit. Because we had no idea they were setting up an ambush until after we started questioning them. They explained this. They said that they had set up an ambush and through our interpreter told them that they had, and we found the triple stacked IEDs, and we found where they had railroad spikes piled up on top of this thing. And, my God, if those would have went off, those railroad spikes, I mean, it would have been a bad day for us. But we faced stuff like that before. Um, but they said that these two um, spaceships, okay, that were green, that changed shapes, had came down and created this huge dust storm around them as they had set up this ambush. And according to them, there were probably 20 of them that were there, and the rest of them disappeared. The only two that were left was these two guys right here. The one insurgent said that a dust storm came down and sucked all his friends up in the dust storm. Okay, that's fact. I mean, it was weird. I'm telling you what they told us. And when we went out to look, we did find shoes, clothing, weapons, ammunition scattered all over the place. Uh, but no blood trails, no, very few tracks. That was bizarre, to say the least. And then in part of that interrogation, they explained that when they saw that dust cloud, that they had went over and hid near a place called the Ziggurat. Okay, so the Ziggurat's this. If you look it up, it's this. It looks like a pyramid. It's in southern Iraq. This is deep southern Iraq, by the way. Supposedly a more secure part of Iraq. It wasn't. It was very deadly down there, and especially around Basra. It was up around that area, on Nasiriyah, the Valley of all of that area, very biblical place. And they said that they were hiding, and that these two lights came out of the sky and told them that they must surrender. Stop what you're doing. You think that you will die and go to paradise. You will not see paradise today or ever if you don't stop. And they were frantic, man. They were terrified. And it would be a great um, psyops mission, but there is no psyops mission that did that. So I mean, because I would have known, and I would not even be speaking about it. Um, but these guys surrendered, not just willingly surrendered, but begged us to take them in, begged us to forgive them, begged us. I mean, begging on their knees, begging. It was reminiscent of when I was in the first Gulf War, and we crashed through those first series of barriers, and some of the conscripts from Saddam Hussein's army came running out. I mean, they couldn't kiss your feet enough. It was terrible. And we had, we go in, we had over 1,000 enemy prisoners of war within a couple of hours. serious business, and it was flooded, but here's two Al Qaeda, no joke, I want to die for Allah, you know, jihadists that willingly surrendered because they saw a UFO or angels, or, I always attribute that, to the power of God as well, and maybe that is exactly what was, speaking to their hearts to let them know that you're doing the wrong thing here. But and I don't want to jinx it, but since that time, I've came very close to dying and avoided danger, avoided injuries, avoided car wrecks. After that time, it was, there was a lot of less fear from us on the road. It wasn't that we felt invincible. Let me not say this very clearly. It's not taking things for granted. Or God's grace for granted, but God's grace had definitely been on us, covered us totally, and from that point forward, we always did our mission well, but from that point forward, we did it exceptionally well, and did it without losing a single. I never lost anybody after that. Never lost a soul after that. That's a fact. Not a person wounded, not a person killed. Had bullets ricochet off helmets, off vehicles. So you take it. Some people say that aliens are bad and they're going to take our. Well, if this was a group of aliens, and then obviously they were our friends. But I think it's more so. I think it's coming from God, man. I really, more than anything else. And I think right now you see an increased level of sightings in these things. Because our world is so chaotic and full of bitterness and hatred and violence, and especially in that part of the world. God don't like that stuff, man. And if these were UFOs, aliens, angels sent from God, they definitely were on our side. I'll just tell you that. So there you go. You got a little more than you bargained for, but that's the truth. And I've got a whole PowerPoint presentation I'll share with you sometime about